Right, yo, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Tam McManus. Thank you, Tam, for letting me interview you. So I was locked in being.
It's been alright, Darren. I think like everybody else, you're just sometimes really annoying when you're stuck in the house and you can't get out and see your pals or go for a pint or go to the football. I mean, a lot of people are missing going to the football. I'm lucky that I'm obviously working with Hibs TV and I'm getting to see the games, and I think I'm very fortunate that I'm one of the people that's allowed in to see live football now, because I know like yourself and other Hibs fans and all football fans would love to be in watching the game. So hopefully we're coming to the end of it, Darren, and we can get back to the games.
Hopefully. So what were you like growing up?
What was I like? I don't think I've changed, Darren. I think I was a cheeky wee boy.
So you're still a little shit.
Aye, I'm still the same. I loved football. Listen, I grew up before I could walk. I'd walk my feet and loved playing football. And was fortunate enough to play boys club football all the way through, and then I went to Hibs when I was 16, and managed to sign for Hibs and was at Hibs for 7 years and loved it. Loved the club. Had some great times at Hibs, some highs and some lows, but obviously played with a load of other teams. But the biggest club I played for was Hibs, and still a period that I look back on with a lot of fondness.
Now, obviously, you've played with so many great players at Hibs. Which player sticks out the most?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably Frank Sosey. Listen, a lot of Hibs supporters loved Frank Sosey, and I was the same. I can remember when Frank came in Easter Road, and I'd seen him playing for Marseille against Rangers in the European Cup and playing for France, and there he was walking into Easter Road, and I think everybody couldn't believe that he'd came to Hibs, and that was probably Alec McLeish. His contacts getting Frank Sosey over from France, and Frank played in a trial game, and I think after 10 minutes, Alec McLeish took him off and said, "Aye, that'll do you. I'll give you a contract." And Frank was a sensational player. Russell Latapy obviously is the one that springs to mind, and the younger boys, O'Connor, Riordan, Bruni, Kevin Thompson, Whittaker, all younger boys. But probably the best I played with Darren was Frank Sosey.
Yeah. Skillfulest player you've played with?
Skillfulest?
Aye.
Probably be Russell Latapy. Russell, as you know, liked a fag, liked a drink. Wasn't the greatest professional in the world, but gave him a ball in the park and he was different class. He came into training, and sometimes we'd come in with a hangover, Darren, had a few beers the night before, and he would still be the best player in training, and he was brilliant. I'm sure the Hibs fans loved watching Russell Latapy. And Russell, to be fair to him, played till he was in his late 30s, so he played a lot longer than a lot of people probably thought, and so he wasn't that bad a pro, but his skill was unbelievable, Darren. He left foot, right foot, he would skin players, and he would stick in the top corner, and who'll forget his volley against Hearts in the 6-2 game. So aye, Russell was most skillful for me, aye.
Aye, so you weren't like him then?
No, I wasn't like him, Darren, unfortunately.
Best player you've played against?
Oh, best I've played against? Listen, there was a lot at Celtic Rangers in the early 2000s when I was at Hibs. Henrik Larsson, Frank de Boer, Ronald de Boer, Barry Ferguson, Arteta. Listen, they're all great players, but probably the best player I played against was Henrik Larsson, just because he was an unbelievable striker for Celtic. He obviously went and played for Barcelona and Man United, so a lot of people thought that Henrik Larsson could only do it in Scotland, and he wouldn't do anything else when he left Celtic, but he went to Barcelona and won the European Cup, and went to Man United and done well with him. So, best player I ever played against, Darren, was Henrik Larsson.
Best team you've played with? I think I know your answer.
I think I probably give that one away, but no, listen, the Hibs team under Alec McLeish was was a brilliant team. Listen, the Hibs fan, I can remember at Christmas we were in between Celtic and Rangers, and Celtic and Rangers were spending millions of pounds on players, and at Christmas we were splitting it through them. I think Russell Latapi was there, Frank Sosie, Mixu Patalainen, David Zitelli, Matthias Jack, Gary Smith. We had a really, really strong team, and Alec McLeish was a great manager. I loved Alec McLeish, and I thought he was a tremendous manager, and everything was going well that season. We finished third, and we got to the Scottish Cup final. Unfortunately, we came up against a really, really strong Celtic team, and we never won that year. But that Hibs team is probably the best team that I'd been involved in.
Best left back you worked with?
You want me to see Lewis Stevenson, didn't you?
No, just who do you think?
Okay, right. Left back. Oh, I actually played with a couple. I played with Ulrich Lawson when he was at Hibs. Thought Ulrich Lawson was a great player. David Murphy at Hibs. You remember him? With Tony Mowbray's team, come up from Middlesbrough, cracking player. James McLean, I played with young James McLean at Derry City. He's been on a great career for obviously Stoke City and different clubs, West Brom in England, and plays for Republic of Ireland. So I'd probably just about go for James McLean when I played with him at Derry City. He was only a young boy, but he was a right good player, and he's been on a great career.
Best goal you've scored?
I think it's got to be the goal for Hibs against Rangers at Ibrox, the volley. It was one of those games where I missed a penalty at 2 each and we ended up losing the game 5-2. But I scored a great goal that first half. Yannick Zambernardi, French defender, put a cross ball right across the pitch, and I don't know why I hit it in the volley to this day, because I'd always taken a touch, but I just thought I'm going to have a go. And luckily for me, it's a 1 in 100 shot that came off the sweet spot and it went right in the top corner. And I still got a lot of Rangers fans coming up to me just now and saying that was one of the best goals they'd ever seen at Ibrox. So when the opposition fans are coming up and saying it was a great goal, then you know you've scored a great goal. So that one, scored a good one against Celtic at Parkhead as well. But I think the volley against Rangers at Ibrox, everyone remembers, and that would probably be my best goal done.
Had to be at Ibrox, didn't it?
Well, no better place to score, Partine Castle.
Best celebration you've done?
It's got to be the pole dance. When I scored for Hibs against Dundee United. A last minute penalty kick, and I celebrated by sliding down the pole behind the goal. A lot of people remember that one for the wrong reasons, and Bobby Williamson went off his head that day and fined me a week's wages. But it was worth it because I scored the winning goal. And it was just a bit of fun, and all the boys loved it and the supporters liked it, and it was worth a week's wages. I didn't think that at the time, but looking back, I wouldn't change it. I still do the same celebration now.
What was going through your mind?
I don't know. It's hard to explain what goes through your mind when you score a goal. Your mind goes mental. You just do stupid things, and anybody that tells you when you score a goal, especially a last-minute winning goal against anybody, even if you're playing amateur or junior or senior, whatever, your mind goes mental, and you just think, I'm going to celebrate. And the first thing that came into my head was to jump up on top of the pole and slide down it for a laugh, because I just thought it'd be funny. And everybody thought it was funny, bar the manager who fined me, but one of the things.
That, taking it a bit too far. Aye. Best stadium you've played in?
I think it's obviously Celtic and Rangers are great stadiums. Hampden, I played at Hampden as well. Tynecastle, Easter Road. But I was fortunate enough to go over and play in America, and we played in some great stadiums over in America, and probably the best stadium I played at was Toronto. Wasn't as big as Celtic and Rangers, but had a brilliant, really, really nice stadium in Toronto. It was a full house, had a great atmosphere. So I'm going to say Toronto FC was the best stadium I played in.
Best kit you've worn?
Best kit? Oh. I liked a lot of the Hibs early strips with Lecoq Sportif. Trying to think. There was an luminous yellow one we wore. I think Hibs won the first division with Alec McLeish. It was a luminous with black shorts. I liked that one. I liked the white with the green collar that Hibs won the Scottish Cup final. So yeah, I'm going to go for that one. I'm going to go for the Hibs white Lecoq Sportif one at the war, and I think it was about 2000. Really, really smart kit. If you look it up, you'll remember it, Darren.
I think I know the one that you're on about. I was going to say, I don't know why I wrote it. What team do you support? But I bloody know.
I'm a Hibs. I grew up a Celtic fan from Glasgow, but you know, for me, the team for me now is Hibs because I played with Hibs for 7 years. I love my time at the club. I'm now working with the club. I want to see them doing well every week. I want to see them winning every week. So yeah, I grew up a Celtic fan, but Hibs is the team for me now, Dan.
What inspires you?
Oh, good question. What inspires me? Guys like you. I think guys like you inspire me. You know, I've seen you have been doing your podcast and your YouTube. You've got over 800 subscribers now. You're doing really well. Your show is great. I've seen some of the guys you've had on, and you're getting some good names on. You had Cliff Pike a couple of weeks ago. I watched his interview with you. Ian Crocker, I've watched his. So, listen, I think guys like you inspire me, Darren. I think you're doing really, really well with your media stuff and your YouTube channel. So, keep it going, mate. And hopefully you can get over 1,000 subscriptions and go from strength to strength, mate.
Thank you. I wasn't expecting that, but I'll take that any day. Who were your footballing idols?
Footballing idols. I really liked Ian Wright. I wasn't really an Arsenal fan then, but I liked Ian Wright when I was growing up as a striker because he was a cheeky chappy. He had mad celebrations. He loved to score goals. He played with a smile on his face. I really, really liked. I liked Ian Wright at Arsenal. I'm trying to think who else inspired me. No, Ian Wright was my favourite player growing up. I used to try and emulate him badly when I was playing. But Ian Wright was. I like guys that play with a smile on their face and look as if they're enjoying football. Football's a great game. You know, you get paid to play football. I was really, really lucky, and I hate seeing people scoring a goal and no celebrating or you know, going about the park and moaning or groaning. You know, you're playing football, you're getting paid. You know, go and you celebrate. You know, score a goal, go and celebrate and enjoy it, and share your joy with the fans.
Now, obviously, you played with Scott Brown. What was like playing with Scott Brown back then to what he is now?
Good question. To be honest with you, Dan, he's not changed much. Scott Brown used to clean my boots. He was my boot boy, and he was the worst boot boy I've ever had, Dan. My boots were always manky. So he never got a big tip at Christmas. But Bruni was the same as he is now. He's obviously calmed down now. He's a wee bit slower now. He's getting older, but when he first came into the team, he was like a Tasmanian devil. It was like he tan 10 cans of Red Bull before a game. He would come out, he'd be all over the place. You know, he'd be flying into tackles, so much energy and enthusiasm for the game, and a really likeable boy. Still keep in touch with Bruni. Spoke to him last week. So I don't think he's changed much, to be honest. I think he still loves the game. He's had a great career. Listen, I know he still talks fondly his time at Hibs, and Hibs gave him his start in football, but he's done brilliant for Celtic. If they win the league this year, he'll be a legend at Celtic. They're winning 10 in a row. So I'd like to see him going on and do it for him because he's a really, really good guy, and I really like him.
Best footballing memory?
Best footballing memory. Trying to think. Maybe it was something to do with Scotland. Trying to think the last time we actually won a game or qualified for a tournament would be my best memory. I'm trying to think. No, I'll tell you, my best footballing memory of the last 5 years was Hibs winning the Scottish Cup. Because I don't know why I've done this down to this day. I had 2 tickets for the game, and I gave them away. I gave them to 2 Hibs supporters I know, because I had played in 2 cup finals for Hibs and got beaten both of them at Hampden, so I thought I was a bit of a Jonah. So I didn't want to go to the game. I thought Rangers were going to win, but to be honest, I thought Rangers would win the game, and I'd go again, and it'd be horrible seeing the Hibs fans steaming out the park. But man, my best memory in the last 4 or 5 years was David Gray's header. I remember watching it in the house, and when that goal went in, it was I was so happy for Tam McCourt and Joyce and Lee Gavin and the players, the fans, everybody associated with Hibs, because when I was at Hibs for 7-8 years, and every single season somebody would come up to me and go, Tam, just win the Scottish Cup this year, please. Don't care if we win the league, we need to win the Scottish Cup. My dad's 80, my granny's, people had never seen Hibs win the Scottish Cup. So for people, older people especially, who had followed Hibs for 40, 50, 60 years and thought they would never see Hibs win the Scottish Cup, what a feeling, what a moment when that goal went in for David Gray, and it's something that people will remember forever.
Because I think when we were obviously 2-1 down, I think what changed is that tackle from David Gray that he should have never got.
Aye. David Gray, I tell you
what. Never got that tackle.
Aye, great tackle.
What's your highlight of your playing career?
I think overall, just having a career. Now, I was a professional for 17 years, so I think that's obviously a highlight. Going over to America and playing, I was playing against guys like David Beckham, Thierry Henry, playing against some of these guys who you'd watched on the TV. It was a highlight. Hibs won the cup. We lost a cup final, which was probably the low light against Livingston, but beating Rangers in the semi-final at Hampden on penalty kicks, and I managed to score a penalty in the shootout. When I look back at that team and I look back at the Rangers team was worth hundreds of millions probably, in terms of transfer fees, and we'd all young boys, Gary O'Connor, Riordan, myself, all young boys that come through the ranks at Hibs, and we were all on, compared to the money Rangers players were earning, we should never have even been on the same pitch as them. So for us to beat them that night in penalty kicks, unfortunately we lost the final to Livingston, but that semi-final, the euphoria when Daniel Anderson, I think it was De Boer that missed the penalty, hit the post, and the euphoria that came over us beating Rangers that night was something not to forget. So I'd go with beating Rangers in the semi.
Was that not in 2004?
Aye, it was. I think it was. I think you're right. Aye.
And did we not get beat by Livingston? I could be wrong. 1-0.
Celtic in the quarterfinals, Rangers in the semi-finals, and we beat Livingston. So that was typical Hibs at the time, unfortunately for us.
Who was the hard man in the team back then?
One of the hardest guys I played with early in my career was Big Yogi, John Hughes. Yogi was a bear. He would ragdoll you about in training, batter you half the park, toughen you up. Yogi was solid. Big Mixu part of lining was hard as nails and all. As a striker, looked after himself. Mateus, Jack was Ian Murray, Big Nid. We came through together at Hibs together, and Nid's one of the hardest players I've ever played with. I mean, he was built like that. He had the skinniest legs ever, and he would smash people. And so Ian Murray, I'd say Ian Murray. Ian Murray was really, really hard player. And I remember him elbowing Ian Black in the derby and knocking him out.
Aye, that would have been back in 2000. No, it wasn't. Come on, what season that was?
It was later on, I think maybe 2012 or something, I'm not sure.
Or 2013. I can remember it though.
But for a header and big net, cleared them out.
Oh well. Best dresser in the Hibs team back then.
Best dresser?
Aye.
Oh, isn't me anyway. Trying to think, Matthias Jack was oh, I'll tell you who the best, who the worst dressed was. Dirk Lehmann, the German. His clobber was horrendous. He'd wear a big overcoat, leather overcoat, and Doc Marten boots and jeans. His gear was horrendous. Try to think who was the best dressed. Who liked their gear? Yeah.
I want to say Rarden.
It wasn't Deek. Deek would come in with he was a wee Ned for Poulton. He would come in with the cracky in that one. It wasn't him or Big Gary. Probably one boys done. The Fawn boys liked their clobber. Or the Glasgow, the Edinburgh boys, we just come in with a cracky in that one. They were all tramps.
What, like now?
Aye, let do, aye.
Who was the funniest?
Funniest? Oh. I think who the funniest was. I'd like to say me, but a lot of people would think it's definitely not me. But Big Yogi, again, was the heart and soul of the dressing room. He was always playing practical jokes on people, putting deep heat in your pants, putting water over the door. When you walked into the dressing room, you would get soaked with the water. That was a Big Yogi favourite and all. Grant Bredner was quite a funny boy. Funny guy. Scott Brown, he likes to think he is funny, but he's no. So I'll go for Big Yogi again, to be honest. Big Yogi is great laugh, great banter, and he's not changed. I was on Hibs TV with him a couple of weeks ago, and he was slotting my gear, slotting me again. So I'll go for Big Yogi again.
Did you steal his car?
My dad did steal it. He said that a couple of weeks ago, didn't he? But what happened was Big Yogi had a wee Suzuki Swift. He said he was moving house or something, so he had this wee white banger, a motor, right? So he would always come into the dressing room and he would always batter all the Glasgow boys. He'd tell the Edinburgh boys to get out the boot room and then he'd batter all the Glasgow boys. So we all laughed, right, we need to get Big Yogi back one day. So Yogi went away to training and there was 3 or 4 of us that were injured and we took his keys out his pocket and in his car and drove it all the way around Feaster Road, all the way out towards Leith and parked his motor and then walked it back and put his keys back in his pocket. And Yogi get changed and ready and all that, and he came out and he was looking for his motor for about 25 minutes. He was going to phone the post, and then somebody said, Yogi, your motor's away down in Leith. You need to walk down and get it. But he had to walk down because he stayed in Leith anyway. So Yogi, he took it well, but we did die. We stole his motor and parked it miles away. Was
it you that drove it?
I mind if I drove it or not, but I was definitely in the motor down.
What's the best team talk you've heard?
Oh, best team talk. Listen, there was loads. I played under some great managers, Dan. Two good ones at Hibs, Tony Mowbray and Alec McLeish. Stephen Kenny at Dunfermline was a really good manager, who's now the Ireland manager. It's hard to pinpoint really one team talk that stands out, but I just feel that the best managers that I worked under made you want to go out and run through a brick wall for them. Alec McLeish was definitely one of them for me, and Stephen Kenny was the other one at Dunfermline. And I don't really know what they said, but they just seemed to say the right things at the right time, and it just made you, want to go out there and run about and want to go out and do well for him. Not just do well for yourself in the club, but you wanted to do well for the manager because you liked him and you respected him and you wanted to really do well for him. So I've not really got one that stands out in my mind, to be honest, Aaron, but Alec McLeish and Stephen Kenny at Dunfermline was a brilliant manager, and I worked with him at Derry City as well, who's now as I said, the manager of Ireland. So I'd go with Stephen Kenny's team talks. They were really, really good.
And how do you enjoy doing that after dinner speeches?
Aye, it's good. Unfortunately, I'm not getting many gigs now, Dan, with obviously with the COVID. So hopefully I'll get a few gigs next year. But aye, it's good. Listen, I've got loads of stories for growing up, for playing at Hibs and all over the world, playing in America and England and Ireland. So I've got plenty of stories. Most of them not winning stuff. Most of them are bad stories for me in terms of getting relegated or losing cup finals and stuff like that. But I really enjoy it, Dan, and I'm looking forward to getting back into it next year and getting back out there and doing a few speaking gigs.
What got you into PLZ soccer?
Peter Martin, as you said about after dinner speaking, Peter, I've worked with Peter a couple of times in Big Ruffy, Alan Ruff at PLZ, and I really like the two of them, and Peter just invited me on the show one day, just as a wee trial, just to see if they liked me and I liked them and different things, and I just went on it and I really enjoyed it. I was on with Barry Ferguson at the time, who's obviously a top player in Scotland, and so I was wondering why they get me on alongside him. But no, I really enjoy it. It's a good laugh. It's very relaxed. Darren, you've watched it. I've seen you on a few times commenting. It's just a laugh. We get a bit of banter going with us, and we talk about Scottish football, and there's nothing serious. We're no slagging each other or whatever. It's just we have a good time, and we talk about Scottish football, and we try and talk positively about Scottish football whenever we can.
And obviously, did have a question. What's Peter Martin like?
What's Peter Martin like? Oh, he's murder. He's terrible. Honestly, God, he thinks he's funny, Darren, but
he's not.
Oh, he's not funny at all. He's all right in the after dinner stuff, but in the PLZ, he's murder. As I said, he thinks he's funny, but we all know he's not. You know that, Darren, and all we watched him. So try and tune him when he's not on, and wee Gabriel's on. He's better.
What's the daftest? What's the Christmas night dinners like when you used to play football?
Oh, Christmas. Well, to be honest, Dan, when there was so many games at Christmas, New Year, so we never really got a night out or gets to spend a lot of time with our families and that, because sometimes, well, most of the time we'd be playing a derby game against Hearts on New Year. So maybe January the 1st or January the 2nd. So there was no drinking at New Year. Christmas, we'd always have a game on Boxing Day, so you couldn't sit in the house and get stuffed into the turkey and the stuffing and the wine and the beer and all that. So Christmas and New Year wasn't great as a player because I was so busy with so many games. So that's part of it that I don't miss, is going away in hotels before Christmas and New Year away from your family. But thankfully now I'm retired, I can have a good time with my family.
And where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
5 years' time, hopefully I'm still alive, Dan, to start. I don't know, Dan. Hopefully still doing the media stuff. I'm doing my coaching badges, I'm doing my A licence, so I want to probably give coaching a bash at some point, or management. If I'm rubbish, I can always come back to the media stuff, but I will give it a bash at some point because I'm doing my badges in the media stuff and with Hibs TV. So hopefully I'm just still doing what I'm doing now, Dan, and enjoying it and still being involved in football.
And would you like to say anything to the Hibs fans?
No, just keep supporting the club. I mean, listen, over 11,000 season tickets. I know the club have been thrilled with the amount of season tickets and merchandise and the amount of people that's doing the pay-per-view, supporting the club. The Hibs fans have always backed the club. They've always got behind the club. And, I thank them. I'm obviously working for Hibs now, and I'm really thankful that they're still supporting the club. And I'm looking forward to the day when there's 15, 16, 18,000 back in the stadium Easter Road, because there's no better place in Scotland to play in front of than a packed Easter Road. And so any message for the Hibs fans, thanks, and keep doing what you're doing and supporting the club and the players.
How many likes on this video?
How many likes in this video?
I
think you'll get about 5,000 or something.
So I
Surely.
told you is when I end it, I'll carry on talking.
We better get more likes than Cliff Pike, me and you, surely.
Oh, hopefully. I'm saying, so once I end it, can I carry on talking? Right, so thank you so ever much, Tom.
Bother, Dan.